Hello and welcome to the NFL DFS slate breakdown for Monday Night Football. We got Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys in a 53.5 game total. And before we get into it, come join us at LineStar. I'm your host, Tyler Weeman. LineStar is $39.99 per month, gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all. We give you all the tools and all the data you need to make the best lineups you possibly can. Now, let's dig into the slate. So 53.5 total. It does look like Jacoby Brissett will be our quarterback for this wonderful slate. Dallas is at home, and they have a 3.5. They're 3.5 favorites. So we like this spot. The other aspect is the Dallas Cowboys just score points at home. What have they done this season at home? 40, 37 at the Jets, but everybody scores against the Jets. 44 versus Washington. So they have had 3 home games, and they have scored 124 points. They are going to score points against this Arizona D. The Arizona D is okay. It's not bad. It's not great. But they're going to give up some points. I think the big thing we need to think about on this slate is how are we going to pick the high price Cowboys? We got Javonte, Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb, all 10K or over. It's not likely we can really get 2 of those guys together without going to the super value category. So maybe, if Dallas Cowboys puts up 40, you probably need 2 of those guys, or at least one of them, and then you get Pickens or Ferguson. So I think attacking this Dallas side is kind of the key to the slate and figuring out how those pieces go together. Having CD and Dak, it's going to be very, very tough to be optimal just due to both of their prices. Can it fit? Yes. But you're going to be struggling, and you're going to really need to figure out some other places to go. Maybe a Cowboys D, a Cowboys kicker, or get lucky with like a Turpin touchdown or a Zay Jones touchdown. Something like that is going to happen if you want multiple of those top end Cowboy pieces. Now let's dig in. Let's go position by position, starting at quarterback, as we always do. We got Jacoby Brissett at 8,600 and Dak Prescott at 10.4K. Now, if you go to our team defense tool, Jacoby Brissett is clearly in the better matchup, as Dallas is 25th versus quarterback, whereas Dak Prescott is 5th versus quarterback. Dak has the higher floor. He has the higher ceiling, but don't sleep on Jacoby Brissett's floor. What has he done in his last 2 starts with Arizona? 25 and 21. Green Bay is a better defense, and he put 21 versus them. Now, he was at home, which obviously helps them, but hey, their home is a dome, and they're going to be playing in a dome tonight. Then they went to Indianapolis, another dome, and put up 25. So he's done well in domes. He's going to a dome now, and it's a very bad defense. So I think Jacoby, at his price point, is very interesting on this slate. Also, it's a game script that looks like it's going to be a lot of passing from Arizona. However, we can't forget about Zonovan Knight, who is likely to be the breadwinner of this Arizona backfield tonight. Now, the last few games, they've absolutely split up the work. Bam Knight, 45% in week 7. In week 6, 56% of the work. In week 5, Michael Carter at 58% of the work. And so this is kind of how we have seen it, since Benson and Connor have got hurt, is that it's been a raw, just an open door of running back by committee, and they've been changing it up. But Bam Knight is expected to get the lion's share, but I would still think, it's probably 50-55%. I don't think he's going to come in and get 60% of the work. And, with that, there is some room for some other places to go. But Cowboys versus the running back. have been terrible. 31st in the league, allowing 110.9 yards per game, 0.9 touchdowns, allowing another 45 or 49 yards through the air. And over the last 4, it's been more of the same. So you can absolutely get to this defense through the running back spot. I think Bam Knight makes a ton of sense, but we also can't sleep on a 3,000 Amari DiMercato, who is, seemingly their kind of big play threat here. We've seen him be able to break off some big runs. He's also decent in the passing game. So I don't hate, going, if you want to skip, say, Zonovan Knight and go to Amari DiMercato. If DiMercato does not fumble on his big run versus Tennessee, we're probably talking about him having the backfield. Then he didn't do much because he was kind of benched because the fumble. Then he got hurt and was ruled out. And now we're entering week 9, coming off the bye. I would expect Donovan Knight and DiMercato to be playing. DiMercato easily could get 30 to 50% of the work. And at 3K, that becomes fairly interesting. So it also could be a way to save some cash flow. Jaden Blue at 1.4K. I think his ownership is getting pushed a bit. We have him at 21%, but really he's only been involved in blowouts. So I'm hesitant to go there too much. Javonte Williams at 10.K. Probably has the highest floor of anybody on this slate, not named, actually probably just the highest floor straight up. He's been good home or away. He is used a ton around the goal line. I think there's a ton of upside in Javonte, and I'm fine going there. It's just, if you go there, you're kind of expecting either CD or Prescott to not be optimal and to go other ways. If you're going Javonte, you're probably looking at more of a Cowboys winning type game script, and then maybe you throw in a little more Cardinals to make it all work. But I do like Javonte. He is definitely one of the favorite plays on the slate. And then as far as the team defense tool, Javonte is in an average spot, whereas all we know, Cowboys are awful everywhere. On to wide receiver. So CeeDee Lamb at 10.8K. This man just does it at home. 110 yards and a touchdown. 112 yards, no tutty. If you go back to last year, he's also crushing it at home. I think there's 2 games over the last 2 seasons that he hasn't got it done at home. I think he's in a great spot, but with his price point all the way at 10.8K, we either need like a 10 reception, 100-yard game or 100 yards and a touchdown for him to truly be absolutely necessary to your lineups. I like him. Going to be playing him. And I kind of prefer CD over Prescott. I know Prescott, people always go to quarterbacks, but at only 400 more, I just think CD has the higher ceiling. Pickens at 8,800 is absolutely interesting. One aspect I wanted to bring up here is, so 5th versus wide receiver 1 is Arizona. Wide receiver 2, Arizona's 13th. So it does seem like Pickens might be the passive resistance for this Cowboys passing game. And even with CD back, 6 targets, 9 targets, 80 yards a game, there's plenty of upside, and all he really needs is a TD to come near or surpass what CD does. So Pickens firmly in control. Marvin Harrison's an interesting one. So he's at 8,400. He's obviously in a very good spot, but Brissett didn't go his way too much. 2 for 32 versus Indy, 2 for 58 versus Green Bay. Now he's in a really good spot, a much better spot than he had been with either of those other two matchups. So I think there is some room for Marvin in this spot, and I won't be shied away just because of those last two games. On the other side, it looks like Michael Wilson has been doing great with Brissett. You know, he has 136 yards on the season, but 88 of that been in the last 2 weeks with Jacoby Brissett. So I think that, you know, maybe people believe Michael Wilson a little bit more in this spot than we truly should. I don't hate pivoting to Marv over Michael Wilson. I also, though, don't love going, you know, Marv and Trey McBride, because I think one of those guys has to be alpha here. Zay Jones, heavily used since Brissett has been in there as well. Only 2 targets for 67 versus Green Bay, but 7 targets on 5 for 79. Zay Jones is a decent vet, and he's off the injury report. He's going to be a full go tonight, and he's a guy that could definitely save you some salary, but you only get him at 4K. So it's not, you know, for a third wide receiver, it's not a super, super great savings. Tolbert is the wide receiver 3 for the Cowboys, and you know, he's optimal if he gets a touchdown. If he doesn't get a touchdown, we're not touching him. And that's kind of how it is for all of these guys. Turpin has some big playability, but he's barely playing. So it's hard to really go there. With, you know, all the Cowboys healthy, you're going to see 30, 40-ish% Turpin. Not a spot I would love to go, but he can break a 50-yarder and be optimal. So at least in consideration, he could be one of those pieces you want in that Dallas type onslaught lineup. Now, getting over to tight end, we got Trey McBride, 9K, and Jake Ferguson at 8K. If we go to our team defense tool, we got Dallas, 27th versus tight end, Arizona, 26th versus tight end. If we go to just tight end 1, Arizona is 17th. So I think Ferguson is a decent play, but he has been getting there on touchdowns. I don't think he's going to get 2 touchdowns a game. And with CD back, those targets are going to come down. So while I like Ferguson, I do think he is a little overpriced on this slate, pushing 7K. Trey McBride, on the other hand, has a 31% target share with Jacoby Brissett, and with that, he is almost a must-have in my lineups tonight. He's in a great spot versus Dallas, who the overall numbers look fine versus tight end, but our team defense tool, it's terrible. Jacoby Brissett needs to get McBride going. He is the way this offense stays into the game, and so I'm going to be probably pretty heavy on McBride. We go over to, also with tight end, I do think Higgins has a little bit of interest, as he does get 1 to 3 targets a game. If there's a touchdown, he, you know, potentially is optimal. And then Schoonmaker is the same. Schoonmaker has been involved a little bit, 3 targets last week. Around the goal line, when they go a heavy package, he'll be out there. He has a potential for a touchdown, and he's 1.6K. So a little bit of interest there as well. But once again, those Higgins, Schoonmaker are more of, I am paying up for multiple guys. I'm trying to get 2 of those 10K Cowboys players, and I need to fit in, you know, something to make the salary work. That's kind of those break in case of emergency type plays. And then it can pay off with a little touchdown. On to defense. Very hard to stop the Cowboys at home. I don't love going to the Cardinals D. They have put up 1 fantasy-worthy score, and it was against Carolina. Defense, decent offenses, they've struggled. They even struggled against Tennessee at home. So I don't want to play Arizona. I'm fine if I get a very little bit, but I'm not going to go hard on Arizona. On the Cowboys side, I I think they're playing a little bit better on D, but it's going to be a hard one for them to really get it going. They're going to be incredibly low owned. So if you think the Dallas Cowboys could win 40-20 in this, I don't mind playing some Cowboys, but I think their path to being optimal is like a 40-20 type game where the Cardinals have to throw a ton and it just gives more sacks to the Cowboys and the potential for some, a pick six or something like that. Kicker wise, Aubrey has been an absolute beast for the last 2 seasons, and the ceiling is as high as almost anybody on this slate. So I'm fine going here. And look, he's had 17 plus in 2 of the 3 home games. So his ceilings have also been at home. I think Aubrey is absolutely a guy we can play, and 5,400 is too cheap for that upside, which is crazy to say from a kicker standpoint. Ryland on the other side, he's decent. We're going to get 10-ish points, but I just don't think there's a ton of upside. Aubrey does have some upside in it. So that's going to be all for today. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Peace.